you're not in competition with anybody but yourself. A lot of people can give up. It's easy to give up. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna keep going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like going to work. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
Bro, that is what every person who has had a lofty goal had to go through. Like, that is par for the course. And you have to be process focused more than result focused, or you're gonna faint, my friend. You're gonna give up. And there's the quiet quitting too. You could still show up, but you leave your effort at home. And you could still do the activity, but don't really give it your all. What he said, the second part, is going harder the next day, knowing I just went through that and got nothing from it. That is what builds greatness. That's what builds and gets you to levels that others will not reach because they're so focused on the results. For example, Facebook had zero revenue for 7 years. Imagine taking people's money for 7 years, investors' money, and not giving them an ounce of return and not generating a single dollar, just burning through money. And they tried a couple things that failed in the beginning, but now they're one of the biggest organizations in the world. And we talk about seed, how a seed is in the dirt for X amount of time, dying and growing at the same time before anybody sees anything poke out.
When we watch these motivational speeches, we have to weigh the advice, right? Based on who's saying it. I could take Kevin Hart's advice. You know why? Because bro has actually accomplished a lot. And in my opinion, it's just my opinion, I don't necessarily think he's the most talented. That's just me. I watch him. I'm like, he's not the funniest guy to me.
The funniest Kevin Hart is the first special. I watched it with my wife when we were dating. After that, I knew he was going to blow up, but then things kind of got watered down. But in terms of stand-up, but in terms of business acumen, partnerships, everything else that he was doing, above and beyond.
All of that to say, that's fine. But in my opinion, I mean, obviously, humor is relative. However, when it comes to the success that he's had from blockbuster films, stand-up tours, etc., bro's like one of the top out there. And success, what people don't say, like becoming successful, especially like in entertainment or something, like imagine how many people he has to go up against and like basically win on top of all these other people who are trying to be comedians. You know how many people want to be comedians? You know how many people want to be rappers? Everyone wants to be a rapper. Everyone wants to be an actor. To become the GOAT, or at least even enter into the GOAT conversation.
Wait a minute. You put Kevin Hart in the GOAT?
No. Well, I'm not. I definitely.
You think people are putting him in the GOAT conversation?
I mean, when you get a certain amount of success, I'm not. I don't know what people are saying. I'm sure some people do, but I think
when a GOAT comedian GOAT,
dude, I just said I don't think he's funny. But I mean, entering into a conversation among the elites. Let's say that you enter into the stratosphere. There's obviously levels, right? In every industry. Yeah. And when you enter into another level, The what I'm trying to say is the amount of work it takes to get there. No one ever sees that. I think I saw a documentary on the light-skinned boogeyman on Drake, right? I watched a documentary about Drake. Bro stayed on the top 100 list for like 427 weeks. Like in the 2010s, he literally was on the top every single week of like that entire time. He never ramped up. He would go on tour, boom, another album, boom, another album, boom, another album, boom, another album. And he outdid himself every single time. And I'm trying not to be on a tangent, but I'm just saying there are levels to stuff, and no one talks about how hard it is to work. And what he just said is what it takes to become successful in anything. Like, you gotta be able to work even when you don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing this work, but I know this is what it takes in order to become great.
And the process. And you got to be fortunate. You got to be fortunate a little bit, but
there is an element of luck. But the harder you work, the luckier you get. Good stuff from Kevin Hart.
Shout out to K Hart.
Not that funny, but he's successful.